Welcome to Shine Movement Space. Today we have a total body mat Pilates based class that is beginner friendly and great for feeling good from the inside out. We'll start aligning our core and then move through exercises for our abdominals, legs, and back. I hope this class leaves you feeling reset and recharged. You don't need any equipment besides your mat, so find yourself a place to set up and let's get moving and shine together. Hello, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to start on our back, so go ahead and lay yourself down. You can kind of roll down towards the mat gently, and then we're going to start in a supine position, so laying on our back with our knees bent, feet nice and flat on the floor. I want you to take a moment, take your hands to your pelvis. I want you to tip your pelvis forward, peeling your lower back off the mat, and then exhale. Feel that lower back into the mat, tipping it towards you. So pubic bone comes towards you, and then inhale, open it up, tipping forward, finding an arch in your lower back, and then exhale, pulling that towards you, tucking your pelvis under, rounding your spine and your lower back. Inhale, tip forward, and exhale, tuck it under, almost like a little massage for your lower back here into the mat. And now we're going to come to a neutral spine. So what does that mean? We want those hip bones and that pubic bone to feel like they're in one plane here. You might have just a little bit of an arch in your lower spine. That's okay for just right now. We're gonna feel that neutral pelvis and then bring your hands to your side. Okay, what's happening with your neck here? Think of lengthening it on the mat. I want you to exhale and think of the back of your rib cage, feeling the mat just a little bit more. And then inhale. And on the exhale, think of two magnets on your hips, invisibly kind of drawing together. Inhale. And on the exhale, float your hands towards the ceiling. What happened with the rest of your back? Did it move? Let's try to ground it into the mat again. Inhale. We're going to lift our shoulders off the mat, keeping your arms straight, and then exhale, let them sink back. Inhale, lifting the shoulder blades. Exhale, let them sink down. Now take a moment and think about what is happening in your back as well. Are you still in that nice neutral spine? Do you feel your rib cage still into the mat? Is your neck long on the mat? We feeling that tiny invisible pull together of our hips. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, rib cage draws together in the front. We leave our arms there. Inhale, we feel that invisible pull on those hips again. Transverse abdominis. Lift one knee up and lower down. Lift one knee up and we lower to the mat. Okay, now we're gonna think about our pelvis here. And I want you to try not to shift it back and forth as you lift one knee and lower. Lifting up and lowering it down. Lifting up and lower. So we exhale and inhale, trying to find stillness through our upper body. We have two more and one more. Very nice. Take a moment here. I want you to exhale. You're going to feel your lower spine now into the mat just a little more. So you may have found just a little bit more of a tuck with that pelvis, just shortening the distance between your bottom rib and your top hip. We're going to keep that imprinted spine or supported spine. Lift one leg up to tabletop. Lower abs are working to lift the other leg up to tabletop. From here, we move from our hip and we reach that leg long and bring it center. Reach it long, bring it center. Holding our arms up like this is helping us to keep our ribs together in the front. We reach it long and bring it center, making sure that we're not using our knee for this motion, dipping our toes down like that, but rather reaching our hip long away from us. And center. Reach and center. Few more. Exhaling to pull that leg in. And reach and center. 2 more. Reach and center. Reach and center. Very nice. If you'd like, we can try a few extending the arms long. Feel what that feels like, but I want you to make sure that that back doesn't start to arch off of the mat as you extend long. Inhale long, exhale center. Rib cage stays into the mat, the back of the rib cage, and then the front ribs stay together. Ooh, feeling the shakes already here. Inhale and exhale. You have 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Bring it to center. Hug those knees towards the chest. Take a breath. Rocking side to side. Good. You're gonna feel that back of the rib cage into the mat. Feel the lower abdominals feel the lower back into the mat, and bring those knees back up to tabletop. We're gonna inhale, bring those arms overhead like we did before. We exhale, circle our arms to the side, tuck chin to chest, lifting head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, exhale, scooping to find a nice C curve here in our spine. Exhale. Good. So you really want to make sure you nod that chin to the chest first to help relieve tension on the neck in this position. You have 2 more in this direction. Scooping abdominals in and up. We're gonna reverse the circle now. We inhale and exhale, press the arms down, nod chin to chest. Inhale, exhale. If you'd like, you can add a leg extension on a high diagonal. But we really wanna make sure that that lower back still feels the mat as you reach your legs. So you don't want to lower them and let the lower back pop off the mat. Inhale, exhale, scoop, sending the legs long. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. Hold it there, maybe an extra second. Bend your knees in, sway side to side. Well done. You're gonna bring your legs up to tabletop now. We inhale here, send the arms long. On the exhale, you're gonna circle them sides, scoop them up, and grab behind your legs to start to rock yourself up. Inhale, exhale. Tipping chin to chest, rocking yourself up. And then you can let your feet find the floor and take a nice forward fold here. Breathing here, inhale. And exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. You can fold your feet underneath you and then come to an all fours position. Hands under shoulders, and knees are under hips. We inhale here. We exhale. Press the floor away. Feel nice and supported. Lift through the abdominals. We inhale and exhale. So we feel that support. I want you to keep your arms straight. We're gonna do the same thing that we did on the mat, but now we're in an all fours position, so elevated here. Neck is nice and long. I want you to sink the chest towards the mat. Exhale. Press the floor away. Roll the shoulders down. Inhale, chest sinks just a little bit. We exhale. Press the floor away. As you do that, think of your abdominals lifting towards your spine as well. Exhale. So my elbows stay nice and straight. Exhale. We have 2 more like this. Inhale. And exhale. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Press the floor away. Hold this position. Tuck your toes under in the back. Inhale. On the exhale, we keep that nice neutral spine and we hover our knees off the mat. Inhale to lower. Exhale, the abdominals draw in and up, and that lifts our knees off the mat. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. You may want to also think of the creases of your elbows kind of facing each other. Inhale. And exhale, hover. Inhale. And on the next exhale, we hover and hold. You lift one leg up. Lower it down. You lift the other leg up. Lower it down. Lower your knees. Inhale. Exhale, hover and hold. One leg lifts. We try not to shift in the pelvis. That's really tricky here. Lower. Inhale. Exhale, hover. Abdominals move us up. We lift one leg and lower other leg and lower. Lower your knees. Let's try one more. Inhale. Exhale. Abdominals brace the spine. We hover our knees. Lift one knee. Lift the other knee. Lower. Untuck your toes and take a nice stretch here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. We're going to come onto our side on our elbow now. So shift your hips a little bit. And then we're coming with our elbow underneath our shoulder. You're going to send those legs nice and long. We just really want to think that we're lifting up from our side body here. So this is not only going to be side leg, side glute, but also shoulder. If this gets to be too much, you can lower yourself to the mat, of course. All right, we inhale here. We're in one nice long line. Our hips are stacked. We're lifted from underneath. We lift that top leg and lower. In one long line, we lift that top leg and lower. We try to keep our leg nice and parallel so knees are facing the screen. We exhale to lift, inhale to lower. If this position gets to be too much on your neck, I want you to look on the diagonal. I'm going to tell you when we're going to change positions here. We don't have too long on our side today. You have two more with a pointed foot. And lift. And now we're going to flex our foot. So flex that foot, send energy out the heel, lifting and lowering the leg. Whew. Pressing down through that shoulder. I'm already feeling those shakes. This is not my first routine today or of the week. And you know what? Even if it was, shakes are not necessarily a bad thing. They mean those deep stabilizing muscles are working. Few more like this. Inhale or exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale, send energy out that heel. And one more. Lower down. Let's bend our knees. Reset that elbow if you need to. Lifting from underneath. Abdominals are drawn in. We're going to lift that top knee. And then we lift the toes and put the knees together. So toes together and knees together. Trying to stay lifted off of that shoulder through the side body. Toes together and knees together. Feel like this, toes together and knees together. Remembering you can always look over your shoulder if it gets to be too much on your neck. And then if you want just a little bit more, you can kind of hike up those bottom toes. So we're lifting a little bit from underneath with that bottom leg as well. Few more. Opening and closing. You have one more. Open and close. Lower your legs. Very nice. You can give your hip a little bit of a pat here if you need it. Give your neck a little release, and then we're gonna rotate onto our stomach from here. Feet are about mat width apart. You're gonna press your pelvis down into the mat, lifting with your abdominals from underneath. You can make a little pillow for this first exercise for your forehead, nice long neck. If this exercise hurts your pelvis, you can take a little towel and roll it up and lay it right underneath your pelvis and hip bones. It might be a little sensitive on the pubic bone here, so take some modifications if they're needed there. Okay, forehead to your hands. We inhale. We exhale, sending energy through the legs. We lift the legs, hovering them off the mat. We lower them down. Shoulders are drawn down and back, neck is long. We exhale, send energy out the feet, lifting the legs. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lifting the legs. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale, energy sending out those legs to lift them up. You have one more like that. Very nice. Now we're gonna keep our legs down and bring our hands underneath our shoulders. Draw your shoulders down and back, neck nice and long. Inhale here. Exhale. Lightly press into the hands to help lift the chest. What we really want to do is think of those back muscles drawing down and back, thinking opposition, pulling, helping to lift your chest from your back. Energy through the crown of your head. We exhale. Hands are only pressing lightly. We really want to feel this coming from the back here. We exhale, lifting the chest and lowering. Let's do one more like that. Exhale and lower down. Now we're going to combine those two things, but they go one at a time. So what I mean by that is we exhale, lift the chest, and lower. Now, as the chest lowers, the legs lifts, like there's a connection between the legs and the shoulders here. So you're kind of rocking, almost forming an arc with your back. Energy stays nice and long through those legs to come up as the chest goes down. Two more like this. And one more. Very nice. Bend your legs. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. And sway side to side. Hands under your shoulders. Press yourself back. Take a nice little child's pose here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. You can roll onto your other side. I'm going to swing my legs around, and then we're going to do side body on the other side here. So we come to our elbow to start. Elbow is under the shoulder. Hips are nice and stacked, and then we find one long line through our side body here. We press down through the mat, lift yourself from underneath, and then we lift that top leg and lower. We lift, reaching long through the toes, energy through that side body here. So I like to always think of kind of a circular energy, like the energy comes up, down, and out to lift the leg. I don't know if that helps anyone, but it helps me anyway. So I thought I would share. Rib cage drawn in the front, pressing down through the mat. Few more. We exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Remembering that we can look on the diagonal if our neck starts to hurt. Try not to hinge at the hips. So when I get tired, my hips want to hinge and swing my pelvis backwards. We try to keep our hips nice and stacked, abdominals engaged to help fight against that. All right, let's flex our foot now, sending energy through that heel. Pressing down through our shoulder as well, lifting with the side body from underneath. All the things working here. We lift and lower. We lift and lower. And lower. You have just a few more here. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Let's do one more. Exhale and inhale. Very nice. Get that hip a tap if you need to. We'll bend the knees and then press down and reset yourself. We lift the top knee open and then knees come together, toes come together. Knees come together, toes come together. So now we're using our external rotators, kind of those muscles on the side and underneath of your bum. You can even feel them if you put your hand there. And open, and knees and toes. And then we remember we can pop that bottom foot up. Inhaling and exhaling, lifting from underneath. I'm reminding myself as well. You have 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Very nice. Lower with control. Give your knees a little tap. And then we're going to make our way back onto our backs here. Last little thing for class today. We're going to do a little bit more for the abdominals and core. So exhale, feel that rib cage heavy into the mat, neck is long. Inhale, exhale, ribs draw together in the front. We start to feel those little invisible magnets pull together on our hip bones. Inhale and exhale. Find that supported pelvis. Feel your lower abdominals into the mat and bring your legs up to tabletop. Inhale, and on the exhale, nod chin to chest, curl up. Here's your starting position. We're gonna send one leg long, little pulse in, switch, in, switch. Little exhale. So you're trying to increase that C curve, that scoop, as we do this exercise. 4 more. Very nice. Come to the middle. Lower yourself down. Take a little breath here. Inhale and exhale. We have 1 more in this series for today. Legs come back to 90-90 or tabletop. Feel your lower back into the mat. Inhale. On the exhale, nod chin to chest. Find that C curve, and then we're gonna put hands behind our head. Same idea, but we're adding that oblique twist in. So we just find a exhale to curl and center, other side. And center. Shoulders can stay nice and hovered, or you can come down in between. Pick what you need for your body today. Scooping those abdominals towards your spine. Keeping up with control. Try not to let momentum take over here. Let's do 4 more. Yeah, let's do it each side. So we have 4 singles left. And last one. Bring your legs to the center. Oh, bring your upper body to the center. I'm losing my words at the end of that, sorry. Relax here, very nice. Let's just take a couple hip rolls at the very end to kind of wind down here. So feet are nice and flat, toes point forward. We inhale. On the exhale, rock your pubic bone towards you, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time into a shoulder bridge. Inhale at the top. Exhale, set your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time. Lowering back to the mat, letting your glutes relax at the bottom. Inhale. Exhale, pelvis rocks towards you, tucking under, lifting up. Try to really create space between your vertebrae. Opening up now through those hip flexors that just worked hard for us in that abdominal series, and then we'll lower down 1 vertebrae at a time, feeling nice and long. Let's do 1 more there. Inhale. Exhale. Rolling up. Very nice. Feel nice and open at the top. And then exhale. Set that spine down. 1 vertebrae at a time. Create space in the mid and lower back. Very nice. Give your legs a little sway side to side. You can widen them a little more apart, letting one hip kind of pop off of the mat if that feels good. And then you can rotate to one side and press yourself up. Find a comfortable seated position, and we'll end class as usual with a nice deep breath in, inhaling, scooping up all that good energy you just created. Exhale, close your eyes, bring your hands to your heart. Feel your heart energized. Inhale. Feel your heart beating. Feel nice and alive. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let your arms float open. Let your eyes float open. Shoulders roll up, down, and back. And I thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this class, it would really help me out if you gave it a like or a subscribe or an encouraging comment. You can also check the description for more complimentary classes or have a look at the playlist. There's lots of different organization of the videos by props, by vibes. So have a look at that. And most of all, I wish you a great rest of your day and continue to shine. Bye. Sincere thanks to you, my friend, for being an important part of the beginning of this channel. Every view, thumbs up, subscribe, and encouraging comment increases connection and really does help this space to grow. Please consider following if you haven't already. I appreciate your support and I hope you'll join me again.